Non-trading organizations are hospitals, schools, colleges, clubs. For example, you will be having sports club. In case of non-trading concern, we will call it as a surplus or deficit. Prepare the books of accounts in non-trading concern. Why we need? Now, key terms of non-trading concern. What are the important concepts? What are the important terms under non-profit organization? Hello my dear students, I am your Ajay sir, faculty, Department of Commerce and Management, Vidyashram First Grade College, Mysuru, a temple of excellence. My dear students, in today's session I am going to handle the subject Financial Accounting 2 for second sem BCom, and the topic is financial statements of non-trading concern or non-profit organization. Both are same. Okay, both are same. Let's go to the first slide. What is the meaning of non-trading concern, or what is the meaning of non-profit organization? The name itself says it is not for profit, it is not for trade, only for serving the society, only for serving the public. Now, non-trading concern or non-profit organization are concern which do not undertake trading, they do not undertake buying and selling of goods and making profit. Here the non-trading concern or non-profit organization is a business institution, or it is an organization where it runs not for profit. The main motto or the main intention conducting the business or conducting the activity is not to make profit, for the community development, for the societal development, for the upliftment of the poor people, in order to bring the poor people from out of the poverty. We need non-profit organization. So what are the institutions comes under non-profit organization? Even our education institution, education is comes under non-profit organization, and health sector comes under non-profit organization, and also religious centers, it may be temples, mosque or church, comes under non-profit organization. Here they are not running for profit. Then why we need to do the accounts? Yes, even though they are not running for the profit, but we have to maintain, they have to maintain some books of accounts in order to general maintenance, of the organization. Some example are non-trading organizations are hospitals, schools, colleges, clubs. For example, you will be having sports club or elderly club. So many clubs are available. So, and also libraries, charitable institution, trust. So all comes under non-profit organizations, and you can add n number of points to this. Now let's go to the next slide. These organizations have service as a main objective and not to make profit. See, these institutions and these organizations always, for example, school. So we are running schools and colleges to provide the education, to make our country educated nation, isn't it? To increase the literacy in the country, and also to bring awareness among the general public, we are providing the education. So education comes under non-profit organization. So that's why we pay the minimum fees and remaining amount donations. Our understanding why you pay the donation to the institution, because here we are not paying the fees, we are not making the profit here. That's why for the development of the institution we pay donation. Next one, these organizations are managed by trustees. This is a legal requirement. Here, why we are having trustees here? Because trustees are not the owners of the organization. Here, after once you had the profit, or once you at the end of the year some amount comes as a profit, so after having a profit, there is no owner to take the profit. If in case of business organization, so any profit generated from the business will goes to owner or will be distributed among the partners or shareholders. But in non-profit organization, any surplus, that's why we'll call it as a surplus here. So in business sector or business organization, it is called as profit or loss. Here in non-trading concern or non-profit organization, it is called as any excess amount will be called as surplus or deficit, and the surplus or deficit will be used for the development of the organization, not for any personal benefit, So here we will divide. So any excess amount amount over expenses. Excess income over expenses will be called as, in non-trading concern, in business organization. So in non-trading concern it is called as surplus. Here it is called as profit. If in case more expenses than income, here it is called as, in business organization it is called as loss. Here we will call it as deficit. So in case of non-trading concern, we will call it as a surplus or deficit. The income over expenses is called as surplus. Here income over expenses is called as profit. Here in NTC, non-trading concern or non-profit organization, expenses over income is called as deficit. Here expenses over income is called as loss. That is the main feature. And also whatever the profit or whatever the surplus generated by the non-trading concern will be distributed. No member will be distributed. It will be utilized for the purpose of development of the institution. For example, college, for example, temple, mosque, church. So any excess amount, any profit, any surplus they earn at the end of the year will be used or utilized for the purpose of building or upgrading the non-profit institution only. There will be no owner for this. If there is any owner, he will take the profit. Isn't it? That's why we have trustees here. The trustees will manage the institution. They are also not the owner. They just have to manage the books of account. They have to manage the day-to-day activities. The only trustee will be there, and also for that there will be head of the trust also will be there. Next one, these organizations are managed by trustees. This is also legal requirement. This is a legal requirement. So government says, the law says it should be managed by trustees, and also there should be head among the trustees. Next one, hence they also have a maintain proper books of accounts and prepare a financial statements like receipts and payment account, income and expenditure account, and balance sheet at the end of every accounting year. So there you have to prepare in the business organization. We have to prepare what are the items we have to prepare, or what are the accounts we have to prepare in the business organization. So we have to prepare profit and loss account, and balance sheet. Here income and expenditure account and balance sheet. So in the business organization we have to prepare profit and loss account and balance sheet. Here we have to prepare income and expenditure account and balance sheet. Why we prepare profit and loss account at the end of the year? In order to understand, or in order to get the information whether the business is going under profit or loss. In order to get the gross loss or gross profit, we have to prepare profit and loss account. Here in order to get the income or surplus or deficit, in order to get the surplus or deficit, we have to prepare the income and expenditure account, and balance sheet will be same for both the organization. Next one, a receipts and payment account. There in business organization we have to prepare trading account, because we are trading, we are selling the goods or purchasing the goods. Here we have to prepare receipts and payment account. In the non-profit organization we have to prepare receipts and payment account. In business organization we have to prepare the trading account. Next one, features of non-trading concern or non-profit organization. What are the features of non-profit organization? The main features of non-profit organization, you will be having 5 marks to 10 marks question in the exam regarding the non-profit organization. What are those? Let's see. Such organizations are formed for providing service to public at large, such as education, health, sports, recreation, and so on. It may be recreation means entertainment, sports club, swimming club, other clubs for the general publics, which is library also comes under non-profit organization. Next one, health sector comes under non-profit organization, education sector. These are all the institutions which are built to provide the development of the society, to provide the benefits to the society. Not only one person, they are not providing benefits to one person, at large. At large means including all the peoples, irrespective of caste, irrespective of creed, or irrespective of gender. So we are providing the benefit to the society, upliftment of the poor people in the country or in the society. We need non-profit organization. Next one, they are organized as a trustee or societies. Usually they will organize, or they will be called as trust and society. So under the trust, Here also in our institution also comes under some trust. Education institution also comes under trust, and also societies. Next one, if you go to education society, you will be seen. You have seen in so many institution, education societies are available, education trusts are available, and also for a health also comes under trust and societies. Next one, subscribers are called members. Now who are all join as a person or a members to the organization will be called as members. Who will join to the trust, they will be called as members. Next one. Normally these organizations do not undertake business or trading activity. What do you mean trading activity? Producing goods in order to sell the goods for profit. What do you mean by trading? Producing goods in order to sell the goods for profit, intention of profit, that's called as trading. So here we will not usually do trading activity, only service. These institutions are always based on service. That's why sports comes under service, and also education comes under service, health sector will comes under service. Next one, the main source of income of such institution or organizations, or what are the source of income? Usually donation will be the source of income. Donation, subscription means whatever the amount paid by the member while joining the institution or organization, they have to pay some amount. Sometimes life membership fees will be available, so for entire life they will pay, or also yearly membership fees are available. Next one, from members will collect the amount. Next one, donation. Legacies, what do you mean by legacies? Legacies coming from the ancestor, or it is also called as gift from many politicians, gift from many other people. So legacies comes under gift. Next one, grants from the government. So government and other, it may be local, state or national government also grant some amount for the development of the institution. And also aids also coming from the foreign, we may get the foreign aids also. Next one, normally these organizations do not have credit transaction. So this institution will not have credit transaction. Next one, the funds raised by such organizations through various sources are credited to capital fund or general fund. So whatever the amount generated from the funds aids will be transferred to general fund account or capital account. Next one, these organizations affairs are usually managed by the maintaining committee or elected by the members. So there will be committee to run the institution or to take care of the institution. Like trustee, there will be so many members, 100 members are there who will run the institution. So among 100 members they will make a committee may be containing 5 to 10 members, and also they will elect a president or they will elect a chairman for that committee, and he will run the institution or he will take care of the whatever the business act or regular activity of the business or non-trading concern. Next one, what are the needs to prepare the books of accounts in non-trading concern? Why we need? If we don't have any proper accounts, there may be mischievous activity or any fraudulent activity can happen. So after taking all the resource from the public like funds and other grants, they may cheat the society. That's why the government will be having an eye on the institutions, and also all the books of accounts should be audited in the non-trading concern to avoid they minimize the misappropriation funds. So misappropriation funds are so irrespective of use of fund without any accounts, this kind of misappropriation or mismanagement of fund can be reduced. Next one, to keep track on their incomes and expenses for every year. So we have to understand where is the source of income. So how much we receive and how much we spend and how much is available in the bank account. We have to understand this. That's why we need the books of accounts to know their financial position at the end of the year. So we have to understand what is the financial position. So in order to build the building, for example, we need to build the building, we have to improve the institution, so we need fund for that. We have to understand how much, what is our financial position in order to take up the new assignments, new projects for the development of the society. So that's why the non-trading concern has to maintain the books of accounts. Next one, to satisfy the legal requirements, even though non-profit organizations are conducting activity for development of the society, there may be some chances for the mischievous activity or mismanagement of resource, or also some manipulation of funds or manipulation of accounts. That's why in order to avoid this manipulation and misrepresentation of the accounts, so it should be legally we have to maintain, or legal rules and regulation we have to follow. Next one, to ensure proper use of resource from the government. So see, always resources are limited, wants are unlimited. Always resources are limited, means are limited, wants are unlimited. So with the minimum resource, we have to use the resource in such a way that so we should get maximum benefit. So with minimum resource, always it may be any institution, it may be business organization, or it may be non-trading or trading any institutions. Always we have to check the resource. So what is the actual resource we are having? So with minimum resource, how we can come up with the maximum benefit? So in which part or in which sector if we invest, we will get more profit, or in the non-trading concern, in which sector if we spend amount, we will get more benefit to the, or we will provide more benefit to the society. It may be education, health sector, or any other sectors, and also providing the awareness for the public. So which sector we have to select it, isn't it? That's why we have to maintain the proper resource. We have to utilize the resource in such a way that it should be beneficial to the large public at the large. That's why we have to maintain the books of accounts. Next one. Now, key terms of non-trading concern. What are the important concepts? What are the important terms under non-profit organization? First one, capital items and revenue items. Under capital items, we have again two types. What are those? Capital receipts, capital expenditure. What do you mean by capital expenditure? What do you mean by capital receipt? Let's see here. So capital receipts. So capital receipts are the receipts of non-recurring in nature. They are not received regularly. So what do you mean capital receipt? For example, actual business. My actual activity is doing cotton textile business. Okay, I'm just giving example. What is my regular activity? Let's take an example of education institution only. So if I get any donation from the student or any fees from the student, it is a regular activity. So what is my activity or what is my institution? It is a education institution. If I get income from the regular activity, what is the regular activity? Taking donation from the students, taking fees from the students, these are all incomes and regular activity. If I get income from selling the car or selling the asset, for example, I had a building in nearby area, I had a building worth 10 lakh rupees. I purchased that building before 10 years for 10 lakh rupees. Now I am selling that building for 15 lakh rupees. Before 10 years I purchased for 10 lakh rupees. Now I am selling for 15 lakh rupees. Now I had a profit of 5 lakh rupees. So this is not ordinary activity, this is extraordinary activity. So what is my ordinary activity? My ordinary activity is receiving money from students and receiving donation from students. What is the extraordinary activity? Selling the building is extraordinary activity. So whatever the profit I earned, this is extraordinary activity. That is what? Capital receipts. Yeah? This is not regular activity. This is not regular activity. What is regular activity? For example, I am doing a cotton textile business. So selling cotton textile is every day I have to make the or produce the cotton textile and sell in the market. If I get the income from that, that is regular activity. So if I sell the building, 5 years back I purchased, now I sold the building for 20 lakh rupees, I made a profit of 10 lakh rupees. That 10 lakh rupees is a capital receipt, not revenue receipt. So we have two concepts, revenue receipts, capital receipt. Regular activity, income from regular activity, revenue receipt. Income from extraordinary activity, capital receipts. Once again I am telling, income from or profit from regular activity, it is a revenue receipt. Income from extraordinary activity, it is capital receipts. Next one. Again, revenue expenditure and capital expenditure. Let's see here. See, for example, here life membership fees is here for capital receipts. Amount received on a sale of fixed asset. Now only I give example, selling a fixed asset like building, car and furniture. Every day we are not selling the building. Every day we are not selling the car. Only 10 years or 15 years we will purchase the building and sell the building, isn't it? It is an extraordinary activity. It is not regular activity. So if you earn any amount from this is called as capital receipts. Next one, capital expenditure. Again, what is by capital expenditure? See, I will invest, I will spend for something, I will spend for something, it may be repairs, purchase, anything. The benefit what I get from my expenses, whatever the benefit I get from that particular expenses, if that benefit exhausted within 1 year, then it is called as revenue expenses. If I get the benefit more than 1 year, then it is called as capital expenditure. Once again I am repeating, capital expenditure is an expenditure, the benefit what we get from the particular expenditure, if we did not exhausted within 1 year, if I get the benefit more than 1 year, like construction of building, if I construct building, the benefit what I get from this building is not exhausted or will not closed within 1 year. So I will get more than 20 years, 30 years, 100 years benefit from this building. So then it is called as capital expenditure. Purchase machinery. So the benefit from the purchasing of machinery, whatever the benefit I get from that machinery will not exhaust within 1 year. It will go to 3, 5 and 10 years. Then it is called as capital expenditure. Purchase of car. So whatever the benefit from the car will not exhaust or will not close within 1 year. Then it is called as capital expenditure. Now payment of salary. Every month I have to pay the salary. So whatever the benefit I get paying the salary is exhausted within 1 year. That means within 1 month, again next month I have to pay the salary. So this expense is revenue expenses. So capital receipts, revenue receipts. Capital expenditure, revenue expenditure. Again let's go to the point. It is an expenditure whose benefit is not exhausted in just 1 year, but the benefit is more than 1 year. Next one, it can be defined as an expenditure which results in a acquisition of any fixed assets add to the productive activity. So if you get the productive activity like building, like machinery, these are all the fixed assets. So if you invest in the fixed asset also, the benefit what you get from the fixed asset will not exhaust within 1 year. Then it is called as capital receipt. For example, cost of additional and expansion of existing fixed assets like building and other fixed asset. Next one, expenditure incurred in connection with the purchase of fixed assets. So purchasing of furniture, purchasing of motor car, machinery, anything comes under the capital expenditure. Next come to the revenue items. Already I gave example, capital and revenue. Opposite to capital is a revenue. So benefit more than 1 year, capital expenditure. Benefit less than 1 year, paying salary. Purchase of raw materials. Every day I have to purchase the raw materials. I had to produce the product and I had to sell in the market. Every day I have to pay the salary, or every month I have to pay the salary. Every month I have to pay the light charges. Every month I have to pay the telephone expenses. Isn't it? These are all comes under revenue, and that means ordinary expenses or day-to-day expenses are all comes under revenue expenses. Extraordinary expenses. What is extraordinary? Which is not ordinary. Purchase of building. Purchase of motor car. Purchase of machinery. Every day I am not purchasing building here. My activity is selling the textile, or my activity is providing the healthcare service. So as a health sector, what is the profit or what is the duty for me in the purchasing and selling the building? So I am selling building or purchasing building not even in 2 to 3 years. I am purchasing or building in 10 years once or 20 years once for development of the building or extension of the building we are selling or purchasing. It is an extraordinary activity, it is not day-to-day activity. What is our day-to-day activity? Providing education is our day-to-day activity. If I get any income from this, it is revenue income. So if I get any benefit or any income from the capital items, it is a capital income. Coming to the revenue. So again here also revenue items will be divided into revenue receipts and revenue expenditure. So if the benefit what you get is exhausted within 1 year, then it is called as revenue expenditure. So what is revenue? Receipts. So day-to-day activity. So for example, I am handling an education institution. So whatever the income I get from the regular activity, irregular activity. So regular activity is called as revenue receipts. Okay. Next one, revenue receipts are the receipts of recurring in nature and received regularly. Received regularly means what? I am having a business of textile. So what is if I get a revenue or if I get a income from the selling of textile, it is every day I am going to market and selling the textile, I am getting the money. That is recurring in nature. Recurring means day to day, every day. Recurring in nature, that's what it is revenue income. Next one, they are generally small in amount, usually not. For example, if you sold the building, you'll get 10 lakh rupees, 20 crore rupees also, 1 crore, 2 crore rupees also, you will sell the building. It is huge in amount. So when you go to sell the finished products, we will not get in crores, so we will get in thousands or lakhs. That's why it is a small amount. Next one, they will appear in the profit and loss account. So revenue items always appears in the profit and loss account. Capital items will goes to balance sheet. Next one, income and expenditure account also it will appear. Next one, for example, sale of proceeds of goods. So whatever the goods we produce, sale of goods. Next one, interest received, interest on loan. So whatever the interest we have given to third party, if we receive any interest from that. Next one, interest on bank deposits. Next one, investment, interest on investment. If you receive any rent also, rent received and also commission received, all comes under revenue received. Revenue expenditure. What is the revenue expenditure? If the benefit what you get in from that particular expenses, if that benefit is exhausted within 1 year, then it is called as revenue expenses. So revenue expenditure refers to the expenditure whose benefit is exhausted. Exhausted means finished. Finished. For example, every month I have to pay the salary. Next month he will come, the employee will come and ask the salary. Sir, where is my salary? Every month I have to pay the rent. Every month I have to pay the light charges, maintenance expenses. This is regular activity. So if I spend money on regular activity, revenue expenditure. Next one, it is incurred every day to day. That's why it is called a recurring, means day to day. Recurring in nature. Next one, the business for maintaining the fixed assets. It may be also purchasing fixed asset is a capital. Maintenance of fixed asset. For example, there is a repairs of the building. It is comes to consider under a revenue in nature. Salary paid, rent paid, printing and expenses paid, maintenance charges paid, all comes under revenue expenses. Deferred revenue, this is something extraordinary. This which cannot be added to the capital item also, which cannot be added to the revenue item also. So in between comes under deferred revenue expenditure. So what is that? So heavy expenditure for revenue nature. Usual example is revenue. Usual example is paying for the advertisement. So if we expense or if we spend so much amount on getting called before the revenue expenditure. A heavy expenditure on revenue in nature. So day-to-day expenses only we spend a huge amount for day-to-day activity, then it is called as deferred revenue expenditure, because its writing off is deferred or postponed to the next year. Deferred means postponed into next year. So actually the benefit has to be exhausted within 1 year. But fortunately or unfortunately, it has postponed to next year also. For example, the best example is advertisement. We thought that the benefit is exhausted or closed down within 1 year. But fortunately, the benefit next year also we are getting the benefit. So only after occurring or getting the benefit, we can segregate whether it is deferred revenue or revenue. That's what it is called as deferred revenue expenditure. That's what here, huge amount spent on advertisement. Next one, heavy amount spent on repairs of the old assets. Next one, preliminary expenses, if any losses or extraordinary in nature will come under deferred revenue expenditure. Now next point is financial accounts of non-trading concern. What are the accounts we have to prepare here? So to ascertain the profit and loss account or position of the organization, we have to prepare the financial accounts of the non-trading concern. Here organization that are end at the every accounting year, we have to prepare the necessary accounts. So our treasurer is required to prepare the following accounts. What are the items? Treasurer means a person who look after the financial activity in the non-trading concern. He has to prepare he is not accountant, he is a treasurer, we will call it as a treasurer. He has to maintain the accounts. What are the accounts he has to maintain? First one, reception payment account he has to mention. Next one, he has to convert that to income and expenditure account. Later he has to prepare the balance sheet. These three accounts we have to prepare. Usually we provide a reception payment account in the exam. You have to prepare income and expenditure and balance sheet for 15 marks. And if we for 10 marks also, we just randomly we give items without mentioning debit or credit. But you have to prepare the reception payment account. Which side is debited, which side is credited. You have to mention that. That is for 10 marks. So usually you will be having 15 plus 10 plus 5. This problem or this chapter you can expect for 30 marks. So income and expenditure and plus balance sheet for 15 marks. Just reception payment account for 10 marks, and also theory, difference between income and expenditure account, difference between revenue and profit and loss account, This all comes under 10 marks or 5 marks also. So you can expect total it is 30 marks problem. So now in the next session we are going to discuss on what is the receipts and payment account, what is income and expenditure account and the balance sheet, and also what are the difference between income and expenditure account and profit and loss account, what is the difference between receipts and payment account and income and expenditure account. So what are the difference between these types of accounts will be discussed in the next session. Till then, thank you so much. See you in the next session.